your flavors are incredibly creative. And, now we know a little bit of the inspiration from your
Mhm.
nieces and nephews and, a little bit more. So, ranging from classics to the unexpected, like sweet corn and salted cantaloupe, which I
Yeah.
can see, putting a little sea salt on some cantaloupe. I haven't done it, but I can picture it. So, what's your flavor development process like? And where do you draw your inspiration? Is it only from your nieces and nephew, or do
No,
you have, you know?
no. I kind of draw inspiration from multiple places. Um, Growing up in Southern California, uh, Latin food is very much a part of the palate. I joke that Mexican food is a food group.
Right.
And so there are flavor profiles within those ethnic dishes that I enjoy. Corn is a predominant one. I also love creamed corn at the holidays. Love creamed corn. And if you take out the flour and butter roux, all the ingredients that are left, that's what you use to make sherbet, sweet
Oh,
corn sherbet. So it's a little more subtle. It is not a flavor for everyone.
right.
That one really does find an audience, but I've had people combine it with the lime sherbet, which is very traditional, and throw some tahini on it, and then it tastes like Mexican street corn or elote.
Right.
And so it's popular. But the salted cantaloupe, I grew up salting my melons.
Oh,
My
did
mom's
you?
family is from Georgia. My dad's family is from Texas, and we salted melons. And so when I was trying different fruits for sherbets, I did watermelon and cantaloupe with the normal amount of salt, which
Right.
is not a lot. And
Right.
then I tried it with an eighth of a teaspoon more salt, and it just bloomed the flavor of the melon. So
Wow.
neither one is salty, they're
Right.
just salted, which that's a little confusing for people, but I'm like, nope, that's how it goes. But um, I have foodie neighbors,
Uh-huh.
very critical, brutally honest, which is what you need when you're testing flavors.
True.
And they really have no difficulty telling me if I have not nailed a flavor just yet. And which has been hugely helpful because my mango flavor, which has proven to be very, very popular, I don't like mangoes.
Okay.
And so I was not a good taste tester.
Right.
And it took around 4 or 5 iterations before they said, oh my gosh, this was like being back in Mexico on my grandparents' farm, taking a mango off the tree
Wow.
and just eating it. And I was like, done. We have
Now that's
arrived.
the best compliment you could have gotten.
Yes, yes. But also from my Southern California roots, Knott's Berry Farm, an amusement park there, they had a very famous line of jams, one of which was boysenberry jam. And so most people growing up in the Southern California area, they grew up with one of the berry jams. I grew up with the boysenberry. So I love boysenberry pies. I love boysenberry jam. So that became an absolute must keep flavor for me. And it's proven to be very popular as I'm introducing people to it. But pineapple, I also grew up down the street from the happiest place on earth. And I do love Dole Whip. and, and so that was the inspiration for my pineapple flavor because I've just always loved it. But I have some regionally specific flavors. I do a marionberry, which is specific to Oregon. And my best friend happens to live there. So it's named after her family. And then there's an interesting story. They used to live in Northern California and they lost their home in a fire.
Oh no.
One of the Sonoma County fires. Their house was one of the first to go. And that was 7 years ago. So there's been some time. They relocated to Oregon, and I was out for a visit, and she introduced me to a marionberry habanero jelly that's produced in Oregon, and it's delicious.
Huh.
It's so good. I have ordered it and had it shipped
Wow. Is it
to
hot?
Colorado. Not overly. It's
Okay.
got a snap to it,
Okay.
but the marionberry comes through really nicely. And so it's just got a little bit of heat in the back of your mouth.
So
So
what would a marionberry, because I've never heard of it, what is that akin to or
it's a
similar to?
type of blackberry, but it's going to
Okay.
be a little richer than the blackberries we get in the grocery stores
Okay.
here. So it has really nice flavor though. So I decided to try it as a sherbet. I figured if it could be a jelly, it could
True.
be a sherbet. And I was testing it at her house this past January, and she came dashing into the kitchen and she goes, I know what you should call it. And I went, okay, because I was just going to call it peppered, which
Okay.
is a fun name for it. And the straight marionberry is called the Fraser. Again, her last name. And she goes, Fraser on fire. And she just doubled over laughing. And it's the first joke I've heard her crack about losing that
Um,
in 7 years. And I was like, done and done. And it has, I introduced it a couple weeks ago, and it has become a very popular flavor. And my sherbet, it's not hot enough to make you break a sweat. You
okay.
will feel the heat in the back of your mouth. Your tongue may tingle a little. Um, if you're especially sensitive to peppers, it's probably not your cup of tea.
Right.
But I mean, personally, I could use even a little more snap because I
Okay.
grew up eating hot foods, but um, it's just kind of a pleasant, really flavor forward. And yes, I have a cuckoo clock. Uh, really flavor forward with the marionberry, and then it's just got the heat that comes about 2 bites in, and so it's a fun flavor. So I've kind of drawn inspiration from different things, some from Hawaii. One of my best friends lives in Hawaii, and I have gone to visit and discovered the passion fruit raspberry combination and passion fruit lemonade.
Okay.
And so it has, I'm hoping to do a lemonade series, special limited edition this summer, and Lily Koi lemonade would be one of those
Oh,
because
nice.
it's so quenching, thirst quenching, and it's just a lovely combination of sweet tart.
Ooh.
So, yes. And of course, strawberry lemonade and raspberry lemonade. And we do boysenberry lemonade in my family. So, that would be some of the other flavors that could make an appearance. But yeah, so
No promises, but they might.
inspiration from everywhere. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow, that is, I mean, this is the stuff you cannot get in the store. So, I mean, you're making me like I want, where's your taste testing bar? I want to try every one of them. I don't want a pint yet. I want to try it all because they're so interesting and I don't know. I mean, I'm at a loss for words how creative you are. And all these things, it's just like, blowing my mind. It's like, I can't even imagine. And so I need a little, bar where I can go, let me try this, let me try that. How could I not want to try them all?
So the good news is you can. um, we're right in the spring market season right now, which means that I'm not in a lot of farmers markets, or they're not up and running
Right,
too regularly yet.
right.
But mid-May, the summer markets will kick in, and I will be in 4 markets a week. And I give large samples. I believe you should taste the flavor. So when I give you a spoonful, it's a decent sized spoonful. And I tell people you can try more than one flavor. It doesn't bother me. I had one gentleman who was going back and forth between boysenberry and marionberry, trying to decide which one he wanted, taking a bite from each spoon back and forth. He eventually settled on marionberry. And
That would be me, just so you know.
yes, and I've had people who come up with some idea of what they're going to order, and then they'll taste something and they change their order. And they go home with a flavor that they weren't expecting to go home with. Salted
Exactly.
cantaloupe surprises people
Yeah. Well,
because,
go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, because they don't really know what to expect
Right.
with the name.
especially if you have not salted your melons in
Yes,
general. As a your culinary background, you know that a little bit of salt always brings
yes,
out flavors in anything. So even though you've done it before, even with your culinary background, you know that that'll bring it out a little bit more. So that's
correct.
interesting,
Yes, it is a flavor enhancer. It is okay to use salt.
right? And so do you have the lemon sherbet as a cleansing your palate? Here, have this spoonful. Now here's the lemon, and have a different one.
People jump from flavor to flavor with no palate cleanser in between. I think because most of them are fruit flavors, um, they tend to not fight each other too much.
Okay.
So you can bounce from flavor to flavor. Surprisingly, pineapple and boysenberry go well together. Like I said, passion fruit and raspberry complement each other. Lemon goes with any one of the berries.
Right.
Lime goes with the berries. Orange goes with the berries. So there's not a lot of fight between the various flavors, which
Okay.
is a good thing.
So if you are a fan of the rainbow sherbet, then you got to buy a couple of different pints so you can mix different ones that aren't typical.
Well, I do actually, it's not available all the time, but I do runs with it. The name I call it is fruit salad because it's got 8 different fruit in it.
True.
But the markets this coming weekend and the following weekend, I will have pints of fruit salad because I just put a little bit in each pint container of each flavor and it builds and creates the rainbow. And so no, I'll have it.
Cool. So here's something you'll laugh at. And I'm not the only one. I know this. But when I used to eat the rainbow sherbet,
Mhm.
sometimes I'd eat a spoonful across, and then sometimes I'd eat just the original,
Oh yes.
one flavor, and then I'll eat another flavor. I'm not a big person on mixing my food together
Hmm.
in general, so I've gotten better. But like in my dinner plate and stuff, I have them sectioned off. I'll do the veggies, I'll do this, I'll do that.
Do that.
So are you like that?
Yes. I do not like my salad dressing touching things. I don't like gravy touching my salad. I will go get a separate plate to avoid the contact. But with the fruit salad, I for me personally, I'm okay with it. But yes, if you like to concentrate a bite of this flavor and a bite of that one and kind of know what you're getting yourself into, then you can do a couple containers and just
Right.
dip up a little bit. I was with friends the other day and they dipped up on plates so that the flavors would not touch each other and they could have unadulterated lime,
Tasting, yeah.
peach, whatever flavors they had on their plate. It was pure.
Right.
And I was
Well,
like, go for it.
sometimes with the mixture though, it's just like, oh, sometimes you like something,
Hmm.
sometimes something is a little bit off, and then you have to go ahead and try and get the individual and go, is it this one or is it that one
Yes.
that either you love or you don't, whatever. So that's where I go.
Yes. Well, and in the case of mine, the ones that are going to catch people off guard are the blood orange and the passion fruit. Sometimes I swap out passion fruit for pineapple, and that's less surprising to someone who's consuming it. But the blood orange, it's a touch bitter. It's not bad, and it's very rich,
Oh,
and
okay.
so it's decidedly different from the orange.
Huh.
You can tell they're related, but it's not like the flavors bleed into each other.